Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This is Prince Ojong. I'm here in the studio with Larry Ojong, a veteran journalist from Africa. Larry Ojong is with me. We want to take some time to address some issues with the Cameroonian crisis, the election crisis 2025. Mr. Ojong, say hi to the audience.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. The keg of gunpowder that Cameroon has been sitting on for 43 years is now going to explode. Is it going to be a revolution, or it's going to be an insurrection, or it's going to be a palace coup? I do not trust Tchiroma, but I can use him as a bad devil. Hey, by the way, Prince Ojong, let me tell you my personal relationship with Tchiroma.
Yes,
1992, I was the press secretary of the SDF. We were in Bamenda with Ni John Frundi, may his soul rest in peace. And in the coordination of opposition parties, Tchiroma Bakari landed. He came with a beautiful story, and we were so sympathetic with him. He had been locked up in Yoko prison in Kondengi, and he alleged that General Pierre Semenge was peeing in his mouth regularly. Prince Ojong, can you imagine our outrage with the regime that this is an engineer, a Cameroonian. He's been jailed on false allegations because of the weaponized, Singan had weaponized the tribalism, which has now destroyed this country for 43 years. And this gentleman, an engineer, was telling us that he was in jail and a general was so mean as to be peeing in his mouth. The chairman was very sorry for Mr. Tchiroma. I was one of his trusted lieutenants, and he sent me to the room to take an envelope and come and give it to for him to give it to Tchiroma. And as usual, I did not even look at what it was the chairman gave him. We were so sorry for him. Little did we know that when he left us, he went straight to go and see Mvondo Assam to get his appointment. And what we say in Yaoundé, Monsieur Tchiroma, la veste n'a que deux côtés. Tu as déjà tourné les deux côtés. Là où je suis, je n'ai pas confiance en vous. En tout cas, je peux te utiliser parce que tu nous as utilisé aussi. We want you to release our political prisoners who have been unjustly locked up. I want you to stop calling us secessionists because we are not secessionists. It is Mr. Biya, your master, who seceded from the Federal Union. So this is where we are now. Prince Ojong, in 40 years of journalism, I've watched revolutions from Corazon Aquino in Manila to, just name it. My issue is, the dispositive issue for Tchiroma is he going as somebody who has acquired the legitimacy from the Cameroonian people who overwhelmingly have voted him because of change? And in that case, he should not wait for the opinion of the so-called Tribal Constitutional Council of Clement Atangana. He should take the bull by the horns and take 10 jurists from the 10 provinces of Cameroon and get himself installed as the legitimate president of Cameroon and dissolve the Constitutional Council before it announces its counterfactual results, because those will be fraudulent results. And I'm warning Macron in France. He has to take care of his own problems. This whole thing of we remaining a banana republic where political novices like Macron in France are the ones who tell us what to do, it doesn't augur good for our future. Now, to Ngongo, Chantal, and Atanganji, the blood of Cameroonians is already in your hands. Are you going to do the right thing and leave? Because the proposals you are making to Tchiroma now, claiming that he should become the prime minister, they are unavailing and will be unacceptable.
Okay. So when you look at the crisis in Cameroon now, this election crisis 2025, how would you compare this with the scenario in Ivory Coast when Laurent Gbagbo was pitted against Alassane Ouattara?
Okay, the old order changeth, giving place to new. Lest one good old culture will corrupt the world, as Lord Acton says. But Laurent Gbagbo was a weak leader, a womanizer who had no time to govern. And Nicolas Sarkozy let him be in jail because he's just gone to jail. The corrupt French leader who has continued the tradition of de Gaulle, of the corrupt French Republic, was the one who weaponized that crisis. Now, in the case of Cameroon, there is an entente cordiale between the North and the South. André Marine Bida was the first prime minister. Louis-Paul Ojula seized the leadership from him and gave it to the novice Amadou Ahidjo. And when Amadou Ahidjo came in 24 years, Mitterrand ousted him and put the pedophile Paul Biya, who has ruined the country. So, is history going to repeat itself, or are we going to have a new dispensation? And I believe that we should use Tchiroma the way he has used us to get that new dispensation, so that he is going to be a transitional leader. We are not going to fire a 92-year-old man to bring a 76-year-old man. The average age of the Cameroonian is 24 years old. We need new blood pumped into the leadership of Cameroon. So, Mr. Tchiroma, welcome. But I think Mr. Tchiroma is not taking the right moves. By now, he should have gotten 10 judges from the 10 provinces to install him as the legitimate president, because legitimacy flows from the people, so that he should cut the ground from the feet of the Tribal Constitutional Conference of Clement Atangana. So that is what he should have done if I was one of his advisors. But I'm an Anglophone who is going to listen to me.
Okay, but the point here is most of these judges are so afraid, and it's politics of the stomach, just like Maslow says. Hierarchy of needs. These people need to eat. Cameroon politics is stomach politics. Most of these judges are concerned about their livelihood, and they are scared because Ngongo and Atanganji may come after them. So they don't really have that boldness. I'm sure if things were in such a way that Tchiroma can protect these guys who are judges, it will be easier for them to come out and show loyalty for him. But the way I'm seeing things on the ground, it looks like the Tchiroma is occupying more space. It's like you have a room. Cameroon is like a room. That's the metaphor I can use. Tchiroma is sucking all the oxygen in that room, and Atanganji and his cronies are left with just very little oxygen. So they don't really have a choice. To me, the military aspect probably is what is paramount. By tomorrow, I'm sure Tchiroma may be able to start getting international support and the support from the judges that you want. Already, they were trying to pick him up. Like somebody once said, the situation this time is unique. Even this, our sister, Biya Ojong, was saying it on the air. Somebody asked her, in 2018, Maurice Kamto won. They stole the election from him. In 1992, Frundi won. They stole the election from him. You were there. Don't you see that there's a difference this time, Mr. Larry Ayon?
Of course. The average lifespan of every totalitarian dictatorship, from Nicolae Ceausescu to Iliescu to Gaddafi, is 40 years. Paul Biya's regime has ended. The dispositive issue is, can Chantal and Ngongo prolong it to their advantage and plunge Cameroon into a civil war? That is a dispositive issue. When it comes to the regime, the Biya regime, it has ended. But remember, the last kicks of a dying horse are always very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Biya is compos mentis. He has cognitive impairment. He came to Washington, D.C., he didn't even know where he was. So they are telling him that troops have been deployed in Garoua, and he says, "Je ne suis pas au courant." The very nonsense that Paul Biya, when he went to France and we were detained after Cameroon calling in 1990, and an RFI journalist asked him, Monsieur le Président, les journalistes ont été arrêtés. Je n'ai pas demandé qu'on arrête les journalistes. And after 3 days, they came and released us. So we have had a regime of malign neglect. Tchiroma has helped to sustain that regime with his lies. I am not going to trust Tchiroma, except Tchiroma, because when we want to cross the bridge and you see a python, you can even cling on the python to cross. But if I cross, I'm going to crush the head of that python, because Tchiroma is as dangerous as Paul Biya is. Now, the dispositive issue for me as a Southern Cameroonian is, how can we take advantage of this crisis? That is the point.
How can we take advantage of the crisis?
Well, the worst case scenario for Cameroon is that there's going to be a battle between the North and the South. Because remember, no leader who has enjoyed such overwhelming power like Chantal, she and her paramour Ngongo have been ruling the country since COVID-19. They have amassed wealth. Ngongo has saved so much money in the Arab Emirates. That's where they don't accept any accountability. They don't accept any transparency. All our money is there. Now, are they going to be savvy enough to run away and go save that money? Because they are not going to continue. The Cameroonian people, the only guarantee for a democracy is a well-informed public. And I can tell you, I'm so proud of the Cameroonian people. They are very well-informed. They are very, very courageous. They are ready. Ideas are spread when they are watered by the blood of martyrs. We are going to die to free our country. But we're not freeing our country to give it to people who have participated in legalizing this weaponized tribalistic regime. So the future, I cannot, your crystal ball is as good as mine. Now, these are the stakes for the French in West Africa right now.
Okay.
Remember, the Wagner group is in Central African Republic. Boko Haram is in Mali, Chad, Niger, and Northern Cameroon. Are we going to have an opportunity for them to come down to Yaoundé and actually seize power? Because this reminds me of the scenario in 1995 of Paul Kagame, who was coming from Uganda to come and take over the regime in Kigali, and Abiyarimana had to run into Congo, and all his people had to run. So can they save the Cameroonian population from the bloodshed? We, the Ambazonians, they have perpetuated that bloodshed, burning more than 300 villages. They have never cared about us. Are they going to have their own experience? Because in my Kenyan language, we say, what happened in the house of the chicken will happen in the house of the goats. Is the thing that happened to us not going to happen to them? Is the genocide that they perpetrated on us not going to visit them? That is my question.
Yeah, the way I see things, it looks like they treat themselves better than they treat us. So they feel like the people in the North are really their brothers. Then they look at you guys from Southern Cameroon like second-class citizens. So Prince, this time it's going to be like a fratricidal war. The brothers in the North and the sisters in the North are going to be fighting with the brothers and sisters in the South. So that's the way I see the talk of war. What do you think?
Prince, if you make yourself bananas, monkeys will eat you. I, as an enlightened Southern Cameroonian, I'll never accept leadership from any Francophone. The best Francophone is a dead one. They have shown us that they don't have the capacity to govern in an accountable and transparent 21st century system. I cannot be under them. Southern Cameroon is larger, 2 times larger than Israel, larger than Jamaica. We have more than 10 million people. We have the most educated people all over the world. We should, Article 1514 of the United Nations General Assembly, which said independence should be granted to colonized people, notwithstanding their conditions, should be reenacted. And the unconscionability, the substantive and procedural unconscionability of the British, who left every colony in shambles, should be corrected. We don't need, I hear people talking about a referendum. No. The people of the Southern Cameroons in 2016 showed what is the purpose of a referendum, is to know the views of the people. Even a blind man knows what Southern Cameroonians want. They visited us with violence, false flag attacks, killing our people and claiming that Amber Boys are killing people. No. What happened in our territory is the weaponizing of a tribal war. Have you heard of false flag attacks? People carry the flags of Ambazonia and go and attack people. Why is Cho Ayaba in jail in a Western country for more than 1 year and have not tried him if they had any incriminating evidence against him? So these are the problems.
Answer the question. Why?
The international community has Cameroon as a banana republic. The United States recognizes the sovereignty and the control of France over southern Cameroon, and they are only going to defer to what the French want. They don't want freedom for us. Americans don't care about our freedom, and we are the ones to take our freedom. And education is a companion that no despotism can enslave. Now that we are educated, we are going to wrestle that freedom. Our boys have paid for that freedom with our blood. Our amber boys have been fighting and dying because of that freedom. We are not going to cede it to the false electoral promises of Tchiroma. Tchiroma sounds to me like a guy who went to an African village, said, I'm going to give you people bridges. I'm going to give you people. Then somebody said, no, we don't have a river. So I'm going to give people a river too. Tchiroma wants to give us a river because we don't need one. I don't care. The regime has collapsed, and whatever remnants of that regime are going to be. Look, listen to the Francophones. People like Banda Ekani. He's saying that, Paul Biya peut tuer tous les anglophones pour maintenir l'unité nationale. This is the way the Francophones think. And I think that intellectually, after living in the United States for 35 years, intellectually, the Francophones are inferior to me. They cannot rule me. Okay. They are inferior to every Anglophone. So the way we should look at the crisis taking place on the border of the people occupying us is, we want them weakened as much as possible so we can take back our sovereignty.
So the way we see this thing, so why do you think a lot of Anglophones were receptive to Tchiroma's message?
Anglophones suffer from the Stockholm syndrome. They have been maltreated, they have been raped, they have been abused. So when any abuser comes and they say, oh, well, he abused us, but he's giving us some little food. I saw Agbobala going down and carrying the chair for him. I said, what sinecure are they proposing to you? Francophones don't care what position you have as an Anglophone. Immediately you have a position as an Anglophone, that position is degraded. Go ask John Gute. Achidi used to complain that he will sit in the podium with Paul Biya, and Paul Biya will not even turn to say hi to him during a 3-hour ceremony. That is the disrespect and the disregard that the French have over us. And they will not do that to me. We will not take that. There's a younger generation of English-speaking Cameroonians, the no-nonsense generation who are Ambazonians. I will rather die than take the nonsense from French Cameroon. Let me tell you something, Prince Ojong. The malign neglect in southern Cameroon, there is no regime in Yaoundé that can repair it. The only thing we can do is let them sort out their problems and let them take the troops that they have in our territory now and send them to Garoua and go and fight, so that they should allow us. We need to elect the Prime Minister of the Southern Cameroons and reinstate the Southern Cameroons House of Assembly so we can start our British parliamentary form of government. That is the only hope for our future. We don't have a hope in any Tchiroma, whether he's Issa or he's Bakari. We don't have hope in them. Carlson Anyangwe, one of my mentors, likes to say that the Anglophones are a too trusting people. Everybody should read that book. He wrote that book. It's there. We are too trusting. Immediately you promise us, oh yeah, okay, yeah, it's going to be different. Nonsense. I'm old enough to realize that plus ça change, plus c'est la même chose.
Okay. So when we look at, do you have any update, like where is Paul Biya right now? We had some story that the US CIA has whisked him off to Switzerland.
Prince,
is that like the end?
Paul Biya has been compos mentis. He has been cognitively impaired for the longest time. Since COVID-19, Chantal and Ngongo have been running that country. That is why when Laurent Esso challenged Ngongo's les hautes instructions, the high instructions of the president, he stopped bringing the high instructions because those instructions were coming from Chantal. Cameroon, Yaoundé is in disarray. I am sorry for Atanganji. He has been used as a fuse and he will be disposed. He's disposable. So I don't see them having any future except inflicting pain on the Cameroonian people. And I just want the Cameroonian people to be mobilized because no army has ever defeated a determined people.
Okay. So where do you think, I saw a video that some of your guys sent to us showing Atanganje building big structures in Ebolowa, which is Biya's area. And I hear he's married to a woman from that part of the world. So when you look at people like Atanganje, Is he going to be able to stay in Cameroon? What's going to happen? Where is he going to run to?
Prince Ojong, you know, from your reading of history, when Ferdinand Marcos fell, all the apparatchiks of the regime, they can't stay in a country like that. The blood that is in their hands, the retribution from their victims cannot allow them stay. Now, when look at Badolite. Have you seen Badolite?
Of course.
The palace of Mobutu.
Yeah.
And you are a student of literature. You read Ozymandias.
Mm-hmm.
All is going to be ruins, and on the ruins you will see, look at my works and marvel. Mm-hmm. All those things the Bible says is very clearly. The people, the thieves, people who steal money and deprive the poor of their wealth, and they build all those castles in the air, those castles will be crumbling. And I don't see any hope for Atanganji University in Ebolova. I don't see it. Frundi left Bamenda and went to Yaoundé and bought a lot of real estate. I don't know where that is. Well, I don't know why we never learn from history. There is no way for you to survive politically when you are torn from your moorings, from your base. The base of English-speaking Cameroonian politicians is their territory. When Dion Gute is sitting in Yaoundé, he is a pawn in the hands of the French. Let him go to Bongono, Indian division, and see how many people are going to come and support him. So that's the problem we have. Our politicians are not grounded in the support of the population. Frundi had to run Bamenda and go and live in Yaoundé. Our people are now conscious we are going to reinstate our country. French Cameroon, they can go to hell, if you ask me. Because Issa Tchiroma is not hope. What is the proposal? The French are going to do an Olingingema. They are going to, because the French are now, their interests are now threatened in West Africa. They need those resources. They don't want the other West African countries, especially of which have a large Muslim population like Cameroon, to fall in the trap of the Association of Sahel States. So they are panicky, and they want to make some arrangement of convenience so that we have a leader who will allow them to perpetuate the exploitation. The Americans only care about the Doba-Kribi pipeline, and for them, all they want is stability. As President Johnson said about Mobutu, he may be a dictator, but the important thing that he is our dictator. So the West wants their dictator in Yaoundé. It's not going to benefit the Anglophone Cameroonians.
Okay. Then what about the Francophone Cameroonians? What about the Francophone Cameroonians? Because they are the ones who are fighting this fight pretty much.
Okay, Prince. Do they really care about freedoms? Have they shown any empathy for our legitimate struggle for our freedoms? Do they not, even the most educated ones like Kamto, who has read international law, who knows the Simon Milner Agreement of 1919 that delimited the territory between France and French Cameroon and Southern Cameroon? He still says that we are secessionists. Does he not know that there's no treaty of union between Southern Cameroon and French Cameroon? So these people are disingenuous. And I'm not going to put my future in the hands of people who have shown me over and over and over that they are hypocritical. That's my problem. So the important thing is the Calvary that is coming to save Cameroon, Southern Cameroon, is our own children. The Calvary that is going to come and save Cameroon is the population. Let them save themselves. Let them take advantage of this, the collapse of the Biya dictatorship. Let them take advantage of the cognitive impairment of Mr. Biya and get into some arrangement. Whatever arrangement French Cameroon gets into will not benefit Southern Cameroons. We don't have roads. We don't have infrastructure. Our people have been displaced. I mean, we have nothing. We have nothing to show for the 60, 65 years we've been with them. What do we have to show? Prince Ojong, there's no road to Cameroon last time I checked.
I hear that even in Vumeka and Biya's area, the roads are equally bad.
No, that is not. That is a very hypocritical excuse. Prince Ojong, you sweep your own front yard. You are not going to worry about your neighbor's front yard. If your neighbor is in Côte d'Azur enjoying oil money, that is not an excuse. If they decide that they want to live in a country where their leader lives most of the time in the penthouse of the Hotel Continental in Switzerland, that is their problem. So whenever I hear the hypocrisy of, oh, there are no roads in Vomeka too, that is their problem. How many senior divisional officers have we had from the Southern Cameroon? How many ministers, sovereign ministers of state have we had? They have taken the money and decided to squander their money. The Bamlikis have built their own territory. We want to build our own. So that is not an excuse that there are no roads in Vomeka. That is not an excuse that there are no roads in the south. They decided not to build roads there with all the money they stole. It is not we. We never had any money. They took our oil and they were paying taxes in Douala. So we need that oil. In fact, we're going to make a forensic investigation to be able to ask them to pay us back all they stole from us. So don't tell me about there are no roads in Vomeka. Prince, when you go to your house, you care about your house, whether your house has been swept. You don't go and find out, oh, my neighbor has not swept his house. You make your own choices. They made a choice to be under dictatorship. We had a British parliamentary form of government that was left to us from colonialism. That is the most ideal form of government. Prince Ojong, in the southern Cameroons, in West Cameroon, if you stole money and bought a car, that car will be grounded. You have to prove the source of your income. We have something called West Cameroon off the road. We want to go to a system of accountability. We don't care about the corrupt influences, and that is what they've done to our movement. They came here with bags of money and bought southern Cameroonian leaders. They didn't know that they were buying only one vote. The people of the southern Cameroons have paid for their independence with their blood. We are not waiting. Prince Ojong, when you were talking about, the judges are going to be afraid, Samuel Adams and John Hancock in 1776, when he saw troops garrisoned in the streets of Boston, they stood up and they called a committee and they tried to bribe them. The British governor tried to bribe them. They stood their ground. You have to stand your ground as a man. I am 65 years old. It is time for me to die for my people. Younger people have died. So when I hear judges pretending and claiming that, oh, I don't want to, I hear there's an expression in Cameroon, je veux voir mes enfants grandir. I want to see my children grow up. All my own are grown up. I owe Cameroonian people, I owe Southern Cameroonian people a duty to tell the truth. My only weapon is my mouth and my pen. So I have to tell them the truth. Do not count on whatever happens in Yaoundé. It is not going to do anything better for you. Take over government. Take over local government. Have the power of the purse in local administration, where the resources that are coming from our area, we want stakeholder capitalism. We don't want the predatory capitalism that they have done, exploiting our resources. Our people have to have a share in the wealth that is coming from our territory. That is what we need. All the oil from Dian, from Combo Abedimo, from Bamiso, we need that. And for us to even trade with them, they have to pay us all that back, that money. They owe us too much.
So,
I mean, I don't want to. That's why
I see that you are taking your Ambazonian view. So you sound as if West Cameroon was a nirvana, a paradise. But a lot of people were complaining about Graphi, Southwest. You remember? It was not a paradise, but you sound as if it was a paradise.
Prince Ojong, you are an ocular witness of the character of the people who were there. It was not charisma. When Ndele lost elections, he handed over peacefully. That was the first time in West Africa. My father-in-law was the private secretary of A.N. Jua. We know the quality of the people. They created a meritocracy. They didn't create a tribal. If you were good, West Cameroon recognized you and gave you a scholarship, and they didn't care. So this whole cry of Northwest and Southwest is faulty. It's a lie. It's a huge lie. You are 60. I am 65. You can tell. My best in-laws are from the Northwest. My best friends are from the Northwest. I'm not saying this to make anybody happy. Okay, now let me give you historical records. There has never been a civil war between a Southwest tribe and a Northwest tribe.
Okay. But there has been a civil war between a Northwest tribe and a Northwest tribe, right? Because I've heard of some of them.
And you Southwesterners are the ones who always unite Northwesterners by claiming that Bamenda people. So I'm not going to play that game. So let's bury that hatchet. Talk about Tchiroma and what Tchiroma can do to bring. Now, let me tell you what it is. I have seen every French regime since de Gaulle made his coup d'etat in 1958 is not going to be better. I am a pessimist. I don't believe in French people doing anything for their territory. Their territories are the most backward. The English-speaking territories of Africa are the freest, are the most developed. When Paul Kagame took over Rwanda, he changed it into English. Look at the way Rwanda is. So, Francophones, we will give you green cards to come to Southern Cameroon, because Southern Cameroon is going to be a paradise. By the way, a lot of you are learning English already. You better do. Because the world is controlled by the creativity, the crucible of innovation that we are going to create in the Southern Cameroon. We're going to make it a Singapore. We're going to make it a Dubai, because we have the potential. Our children are all over the world. They just want to go to a country where their creative genius could be allowed to flourish. Not that dictatorship in Cameroon where they're killing people. So what African country of French expression is there for us to emulate? Show me one of them.
Well, what you're saying is, even if Tchiroma brings federalism, you guys are still not going to be satisfied. Is that what you're saying?
For your information, the French don't have the word federalism in their political lexicon. From the 18th century, from Richelieu, right through Pompidou, right through Giscard d'Estaing, right through Macron, the French have a centralized political system. So do not go for that kind of crap. It is nonsense. It is electioneering. It is the lies of somebody who wants to acquire power. When he acquires power, he's going to send us. I mean, look at Tchiroma. He doesn't even know that Chris Anu is not from Bamenda. Come on. He doesn't even know that. He said, oh, I'm here in Bamenda and I've asked Chris Anu to protect me. Poor Chris. Chris, who has suffered so much. His family has suffered in this movement. Tchiroma will use his name and lie. Tomorrow, when Tchiroma goes to the party, see what he's going to do with Chris Anu. He will order that they should kill him. I trust Francophones for that. So, Prince, I am not. There's no cavalry coming from Yaoundé. There's no cavalry coming from Garoua to come and save the people of Southern Cameroon. The only cavalry is themselves. We will save ourselves with Southern Cameroonians, because we have the blueprint, a British parliamentary form of government with accountable leaders, with a meritocracy, where we create innovation, where it will be a hub for technology. People will be coming all over the world. We have what do we lack? We have the human and material potential. So stop thinking about what is happening in French Cameroon. Get out of French Cameroon. Come back, elect a prime minister, start the Southern Cameroon's House of Assembly, start the Southern Cameroon's House of Chiefs. That is our future. Our future is not in Yaoundé. Our future is in Biya.
So all this time seems like 2016. It looks like you guys don't have good leadership. So how are you guys going to do it?
Yes, we don't have good leadership, because every time we have a leader that is credible, the French go and decapitate him, go and arrest him from Nigeria and come and put in jails in Kunengi. They collude with their European colleagues. They arrest them and put them in jails in Norway. They don't even have the compunction to bring them to a free court of law. Where is the rule of law in the West? It's a disgrace. They arrest Joe Ayaba in Norway and they lock him up for more than a year and they can't bring him to jail. Are you serious? Is this the West? Anyway, guess what? We have leadership.
Okay.
Our leaders, our movement is a leaderless movement. The average Southern Cameroonian child understands the roadmap of what we want to do. So you can keep decapitating all the leaders. We are going to continue marching forward. There are 8 million Southern Cameroonians spread all over the world. Leadership, every crisis situation will bring its own leadership. There's no one person who is in the Southern Cameroon that if he is locked up, the movement will not continue. The movement will continue. When we die, those who thought they were indispensable are quietly in their graves, and the world is making its forward march. So don't worry about Southern Cameroonians. We are fine.
Okay.
Worry about French Cameroon. Let them take their guns out of our territory. We don't need guns. We need caterpillars, and we need freedom, so that we can innovate our own cottage industries and create a kind of innovation that will allow us to liaise with the most advanced economies in the world. We don't need their dictatorship. They don't know freedom. Without freedom, you cannot develop.
It seems as if some of the Ambazonians are not even happy that soon Ayoktabe may be released if there's transition in French Cameroon.
Prince, we have seen this. We've seen this film before.
Okay.
The leaders of the ANC who were outside were not happy that Mandela came out. But you cannot stop the forward march of history. Ayoktabe has put his blueprint on the sands of time by the work that he has done. Mfongalamfo has put his footprints, indelible footprints, in the sands of time. When the history of the Southern Cameroon will be written, those people will be flying in golden colors. Death cannot take them away from the record of history. French Cameroon is a disgrace. That's why I'm looking at Atanganji. I don't know where he's going to live. A man, you see, Prince Ojong, look at
I may help him file for asylum. What do you think?
Stop that.
Maybe he can become an American.
Prince Ojong, please
president.
Be serious. Please be serious.
Yeah. I'm just throwing ideas out there.
The crimes of Mr. Atanganji are crimes that are called in international law the crimes of jus cogens. These are crimes that don't have any statute of limitation. The day he lands in any city in the United States, he will be nabbed by the FBI and taken to jail. We have people who are lining up to testify about how he paid workers, people to kill people in Pinyin, to discredit the Ambazonia movement. We have all that information. We are gathering it. We are waiting for our day in court. As Martin Luther King says, the arc of the universe turns slowly, but it turns towards justice. We will have justice. And these criminals, these murderers will be exposed. So I don't believe that the United States of America supports genociders, people who have killed people, to come and seek refuge here in the United States. That will be a matter for the Justice Department of the United States to decide. It will not be my matter. But the compelling evidence that I will be able to provide as an investigative journalist will be conclusive about the complicity of Atanganji, Ngongo, and people like Mbayo who were bribing leaders up and down. That complicity in the genocide in the Southern Cameroon will be established beyond all reasonable doubts.
Well, it looks like Tchiroma is already working on his cabinet. I think I hear the Prime Minister is going to be Maurice Kamto. Maurice Kamto was your teacher. What can you say about him as a Prime Minister?
Maurice Kamto is a brilliant jurist. There's no doubt about that. I cannot speak for his politics. I have reservations about people like Kamto and Tchiroma, who have worked in the Biya dictatorship and were avid supporters of that dictatorship. So their behavior is unpredictable from their past. The pattern of compromising, the pattern of the need to praise, to kiss the ring of the dictator and express all the panegyric, it's something I could not do. I prefer to be a security guard in America than to be an honest gentleman graduating from a rig to lie for my country. I could not do it. So it's a matter of conscience. It's not a matter of charisma. It's a matter of character. So I do not know. I can't vouch for them. I can vouch for the leaders of the Southern Cameroons, those who have been deprived from their children, like Ayoktabe Mfongalamfo, Shufai Mbinglo, the professors, Awasum, and the rest, who were in Nigeria, who could have finished their education, Chendi, and come and serve their people, who are now languishing in jail. I cry for them. I feel their pain. They didn't see the birthdays of their children. They didn't see the weddings of their daughters because of an evil dictatorship. And you think that I would be advising somebody to trust them a second time? That will be folly.
Then what about the martyrs of Ambazonia freedom? Those who fell. I'm sure we should end the show by reminiscing on those martyrs of Ambazonia freedom. Like when I think of Nopiri, what do you think?
Prince Ojong, when you were in college, you learned about Spartans. The Spartan dies, he doesn't surrender. And when at the Battle of Thermopylae, Leonidas was speared, he said, "Go tell Sparta that here, in obedience to their law, we lie." Southern Cameroonians are lying in their graves. They are crying in their graves. Their bones are crying for being killed because they were carrying peace plans. Today, people are marching in Garua. I'm not hearing gunshots, but we were shot. So this genocide will be recorded in history, and we will never forget what they did to us. That is why anybody who will be preaching that, oh, Tchiroma is coming now, there's a new love affair, is a fool. And I'm not going to be part of that fool's errand. the independence of the Southern Cameroons that was deprived by the complicity of the French and the English will have its realization now. And the people in Yaoundé will come to Southern Cameroon to learn on how to govern and how to be accountable. And I wish them luck, a lot of luck.
Okay. So as a final word, what do you think? Do you think Paul Biya will step down, or do you think there will be conflagration? Look at the tea leaves.
Okay. Paul Biya has already stepped down. Paul Biya stepped down a long time ago. Ngongo and Chantal are the ones negotiating the show. They just proposed to Issa Tchiroma to be prime minister with full powers. And Tchiroma told them no, because Tchiroma knows them. The advantage we have is that at least Tchiroma knows them very well. They are peed in his mouth. He has been in the regime with them. So he knows that chicanery. He knows that duplicity. He knows that double games. So Tchiroma is the real bridge for our freedoms. But we shall have to hold his feet to the fire. Okay. I don't believe in a one-man rule. So I believe in the Southern Cameroonian British parliamentary form of government, and I want the French Cameroonians to learn from us.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. It's been a great show. If you have any comments, you can comment. Thank you very much, Mr. Larry Ojong.
Yes, we will be following.
You know, your book is coming soon, which will focus on this the African single currency.
Yes.
So what can you say about it?
That is the future. That is the future. We are not going to be counting on the dollar, the renminbi, the ruble, or the euro. We have to have our own currency that is anchored on the strategic resources that we have in abundance, so that people don't come and take our resources and inflict poverty on our continent. And the first step is that we have to tear down the borders. As Bogmeister Fuller says, if you want change, design a new system that will make the old one obsolete. This system, the single African currency, the Afro, is the new continental system that will make the Bretton Woods system obsolete.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. And may God bless you. May God bless Southern Cameroon. May God bless Ambazonia. Bye-bye.
God bless you. God bless you.